Hey, movie lovers, this is Leo.
Mike.
And Kevin from Films and Fermentation.
If you love comedy, movies, and a good drink in hand, then you need to check out the Pod Nation Media Network.
It's home to a variety of amazing podcasts covering everything from pulp culture to history and, of course, movies like ours.
And the best part, Pod Nation Media Network is featured on Roku, so you can stream your favorite podcasts anytime.
Alongside Films and Fermentation, you'll find other fantastic shows like the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Real Sharks, and so many more.
So grab a drink, press play, and join the fun with Pod Nation Media Network.
Because everything's better with a little comedy, movies, and booze.
Learn more by going to linktree.com/PodNationPods.
Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with taste elevation. Films and fermentation, with Leo, Catman, and Mike.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Films and Fermentation, episode 224. We have a very special episode tonight because not only are we revisiting one of our favorite segments, Films That Time Forgot, but we have a very special guest. With us tonight is Bobby DeMars, who is the founder of Blind Barrel's Whiskey Subscription and also the producer, director, writer of The Business of Amateurs, as well as a number of other documentaries and films. Bobby, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk about the films that time forgot.
As are we. We always love it. It's one of our favorite topics.
I went down the rabbit hole, and it's funny because, you were saying to come up with, trivia and just trying to get people to guess. And I was listening to episodes, and, dude, the rabbit hole, and I love this. I'm not going to give you whatever, but, I love this movie so much. I can quote almost it from beginning to end. And there's so much that when I was looking up the trivia, I'm like, oh my God, that's so right. It was just it was fun for me just to even research the movie that I already knew a lot about.
Yeah, we've done this. This is the 13th time we've done Films That Time Forgot, and we've actually forgotten some of the films that we've done already. That's when I sent you that screenshot. I was like, oh wow, we did that, didn't we?
Most of them were like some 80s bangers that were totally forgotten, and then every now and again it was like Deer Hunter. I'm like, pretty sure we didn't forget about Deer Hunter. But there's
70s are a decade for that because it's I think the 70s are one of the best decades for movies. So you get some good ones in that one. So
it is, but I got to tell you, dude, I tried to watch Deer Hunter not too long ago, and I can't. I think just with cell phones and I don't have the attention span for it anymore. I can't watch a 2-hour and 45-minute movie where I'm watching.
It's a slow burn of a film.
Married for 20 minutes, and I was like, how do they fucking pull this off?
Yeah, I do that anymore now. When I watch a movie, the first thing I look at is the time, and plan out how I'm going to watch it, and so when am I going to take a break, and then or am I going to watch it over a couple of days because I can't sit through a whole movie anymore.
It's weird. What was the Quentin Tarantino Western movie?
Django.
Hateful Eight. Hateful Eight. So the 4-hour version of Hateful Eight, fucking loved it. I'm all I watched 9 hours of the Hateful Eight. Right.
But the 4-hour version, I'd have to take a break at least twice.
You're gonna take a break and you're gonna nosh. And he broke it up into 4 episodes, and I could do it all day. And then sometimes I'm like, did you really? Even Oppenheimer, I love Nolan. I love The Prestige. I love Memento. I love most of Nolan's movies, but I watched Oppenheimer and I was like, I found myself. I got awoken in the movie of the bomb going off, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a bomb in the movie.
That's the thing. That's the sweet spot, man. Wait for that bomb to go off.
I'm like, it's about McCarthyism. I'm like, okay, Nolan, I get it. Come on.
Speaking of epics, I got a surprise from my two co-hosts here. Hold on.
Oh, I saw this earlier. When you were having
Films of Fermentation will return in Avengers Doomsday. Again, welcome to Films of Fermentation. We're a movie and alcohol podcast, #1 beer podcast on Good Pods, although we're not drinking beer tonight, and we'll find out why in a little bit. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
And that's Bobby.
I'm Bobby.
Yeah, we're three friends and one new friend who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. This week on Films and Fermentation, we're back with part 13 of our Films That Time Forgot series, digging up forgotten cinematic oddities like archaeologists with microphones and beer. But the real spotlight belongs to our special guest, Bobby DeMars, founder of Blind Barrels, a whiskey tasting experience, and producer of the documentary The Business of Amateurs. We talk indie filmmaking, passion projects, and what it takes to build something meaningful when you're not backed by a Hollywood money cannon. It's part movie nostalgia, part behind-the-scenes hustle, and part how did this even get made in the best possible way. Pour a drink, press play, and join us for forgotten films, great conversation, and a spotlight on the people actually doing the work. Don't forget, you can drop us an email at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation. Find all of our social media and podcast links. You can watch us on the Pod Nation Media Network on Roku, as well as on YouTube and Rumble. And we are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported. So please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members-only content. For $1 a month, you get access to our archives. You get access to film review episodes. For $3 a month, you get access to our Adventures in Podcasting web series and Mike's Expedition Beer web series. You can also buy our merchandise at teespring.com or text us at 904-867-4466. And please, when you get a chance, check out my little side project, Leo Runs from Cryptids, on YouTube, Reels, and TikTok. It's web videos that I create of me running away from mythological creatures.
And don't forget, for $10 a month on Patreon, you get pictures of Mike's feet.
Ooh.
Yeah. The dollar for each toe.
It's him running away from hobbits.
It's the toe of the month, and yes,
Toe of the
all
month,
months are
dollar for
covered.
each toe. All right, so that takes us to the most important part of the show here, folks. It's the drink portion. So for tonight, we are doing a whiskey tasting experience, courtesy of Bobby DeMars and the Blind Barrels. Bobby, do you want to kind of explain what this whole experience is about? Because we're dying here to try these whiskeys.
Yeah, so this was a COVID baby. You know, as a filmmaker, a lot of just film projects, everything died, and then there was a strike, and everything died again. And during COVID, my buddy was doing blinds to kind of connect us while we were isolated. And you can only do so many accent walls and put in so many bidets. And my buddy did this blind. I had done a blind with wine before. I'd never done it with whiskey, and I was a drinker, but I wouldn't say I was a taster. And I didn't realize just how different, nuanced whiskey could be, and never even thought about it. And I was like, dude, this is a business. He's like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, dude, nobody's ever done this before. And then I figured out why. Liquor laws are very restrictive. You know, one of the great loopholes in life, whether you're going through a divorce or you're worried about the title rights to your house, you can do a free hour-long consultation, usually with any expert attorney in that field. And so I did a free hour-long consultation with an alcohol beverage control attorney that lasted 6 minutes. Said I couldn't do any of those things legally. And then I did 17 more free hour-long consultations with different ABC attorneys until I figured out a way to do it. And, you know, it's funny. There's a lot of parallels in entrepreneurship and filmmaking, and just the idea of going down and let that first step lead to the next step, the next step, the next step. If you get daunted by all the things that won't happen or the arduous tasks that you're taking on, it can debilitate you, and you can literally just be fettered from the thoughts of it. And we had a lot of momentum, and I just, you know, like any film, I pitched friends on the idea of it, and 14 out of the 15 said, if there's a chance for me to invest, let me know. And so raised the money in a week, spent all of 2021 creating this model. And essentially, you know, you guys all have a kit in front of you. We really wanted people to associate small American brands with top shelf. You know, you got a soft touch magnet gold leaf with the ribbon pull, right? I'll tell you, I've never made packaging before. I've never made custom glass before. Enclosures and caps apparently are a motherfucker in this business. So we had to kind of go through all these different hurdles. We spent all of 2021 figuring that out. And then we launched in 2022, had a couple hundred members, and just really grew organically for the first year. And now we're on the cusp, you know, almost 4 years later, of having about 5,000 members in 44 states. And, we get to feature these small American businesses that are making the best whiskey that you normally can't even buy. So distribution really controls who gets the shelf space. And so I'd say that, yes, the soft touch and the curation, they're all parts of the success of what we've had, but it's really the FOMO. You don't want to miss out on the next lineup, not only to learn of the brands that are out there, but I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've ever had Southern Star. We got cast strength barrel pick Southern Star for $50. We got the number 14 in the world cast strength that, most people can't even get it. We got it for $60. Our members get killer prices on full bottles that we offer, and bottles that they wouldn't normally be able to buy any other way.
Awesome. So like the kit that we're testing tonight is one of the older kits, so we're not going to be spoiling it for anybody on the next tastings, right? So these are this is from the number 16 Inception tasting.
Inception. Well, number 15, right? Yeah, so 15, it's
Inception.
Yeah, like get your Roman numerals right.
Yeah.
So
we just had a whole conversation about that on the last episode.
It's funny. The kit before number 14 was Prestige, and I'm like, oh, people are going to hate that I did 2 Nolan movies in a row. So we always call the kits something, and it's usually pop culture reference.
Next one's Dunkirk, right?
Oh God, it's like, can you not get shell shocked in World War II? I mean, I love Dunkirk because the whole movie is about running away, finding like bravery within the fact that you're running away the whole movie. And sacrifice, right? You got that plane that's coming down that's going to burn the soldiers, and they're going to drown and burn at the same time, but you got to leave them to I don't know. I love Dunkirk. I love Nolan. So if you look at Inception, these are all brands that our members recommended that we had in the lineup.
Okay.
So we get anywhere from 60 to 100 recommendations from members a year. We reach out to all the brands. We try a bunch of them. We don't choose brands. We choose whiskey. We blind taste everything. So everything in this lineup is an idea that they incepted upon us. Nice. And I even love Inception because there's 3 Inceptions in the movie, right? There's the heist. There's the Inception on the audience, or whether you believe the top spinning. And then there's the ambiguous Inception, which is the whole thing a dream, and we're just trying to get Leo to think he's going home to go home to his family. And we created the whole movie as an Inception to Leo.
Now,
spoiler in case anybody.
It's something that's really near to me because when I go on vacations, I do go to local distilleries, and if I find something good, I bring it back, and the guys have tasted it.
What have you found? Like what on the trail?
There's a place down in Williamsburg that was they made the whiskeys and their gins in the colonial style.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's where all the whiskeys back in the day they were making a lot of rye over there. Although like in Virginia you got Courage and Conviction, right? Mm-hmm. And they make a single malt. Yep.
I also got something off of online. I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons guy, so I got a bottle of White Stone Courage from Critical Role.
Nice. Critical Role. What is a Critical Role in Dungeons and Dragons? A 20?
A 20 or a 1. A 1's bad Critical Role. A 20's a good Critical Role.
Nice, dude. That's some Jeopardy level question right there. A 1 or a 20. What is a Critical Role, Alex?
So we, Mike and I, had been to the Jack Daniel's distillery in Lynchburg, and it's funny you were talking about like the legality of things when we were in
Dry County.
Yeah, Lynchburg's a dry county, so we asked the tour guide like, how do you get around giving out the whiskey then? And she said that they didn't sell the whiskey; they sold the bottles. They gave you the whiskey for free.
It's the weirdest, I'll tell you, we ship to 44 states, and just to get through that, just to get through distribution, or just to get brands that aren't normally outside their native state, just to figure that out. It's one of the hoops that the brands have to jump through is because we're in California, so they do have to get a distributor here. But like in California, if you want to bottle bulk spirits, you have to reproduce it. You have to redistill it. You have to blend it. You have to do something to it. But certain licenses don't have to do that. And there's not many of them. So finding those relationships, I figured out there's a reason that nobody's done this before. And I got a really good hand on the legal part of it, but I always say I know more about liquor laws than I do about whiskey, but
that's something I've noticed because I'm a big,
Alexa, stop.
Most professional podcast in America, folks.
I go to Gatlinburg a lot, and which is where Old Smoky is and their whiskeys. And
Okay.
they have
And they're sourcing, right? I mean, or maybe I'm thinking of Smoke Eyes. Old Smoky. Is that the moonshine? Is that the one that makes all the moonshine?
They make
Yeah,
moonshine,
yeah.
and they make whiskeys.
And they have more visitors per year than like any distillery, right?
Right. But you can't get everything. They get some of the stuff up here, but you can't get everything they make.
Oh yeah, the store picks, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
the
that's
store
the
picks, you
thing.
can't-
Stuff they just,
yeah,
So
it's odd some of the things they sell, but they won't let them because like they had a really good bourbon line, but they wouldn't sell like certain parts of the bourbon line up here, and yeah, it was weird.
Wait, I shipped all. What state are you guys all in?
We're in Pennsylvania. Oh, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Mike's in Pennsylvania. Kevin and I are in Jersey.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we've had a Jersey brand. We have one coming up from Pennsylvania, and we did have Liberty Pole in the lineup.
Jersey's
then
a big like brewery area more than distillery.
Yeah, it's Springsteen and ales over here in Jersey.
I mean, I grew up in Philadelphia. I moved to Jersey, so I'm like,
We do have a
No,
good one in Philadelphia now. It's
Mm.
Bird Gang.
Bird
I
Gang.
think, I think isn't Penelope in Jersey? I think Penelope's headquarters is in Jersey,
I
actually.
don't know for sure. So anyway, let's get to the drinking here, the tasting. So this is a blind tasting, all about discovery, education, removing brand bias. You find hard to find American craft distilleries and put them into these tasting kits. So this is all about kind of learning about new, flavors that are out there before they hit the shelves in some cases. And I'm excited about this. I've been waiting to do this. I've been staring at this box since it arrived at my house a couple of days ago going, oh man, I can't wait. My wife already tasted all of them.
Nice.
She was dying to try them. So she came in and did like
Love
a quick tasting. And I was like, don't tell me what you think. Don't say anything. I don't want spoilers. I want to try to figure this out myself. I do know that one of her reactions to one of them was, so I'm waiting for that one.
I know which one that is. You're used to hearing that every other night.
So you have in your kits, there's a QR code that takes you to a site where you can kind of take a quiz for each sample. And you have to try to guess what the age statement is, the proof, and what type of whiskey it is. And then at the end, it'll let you know how well you did and what the actual whiskey brands are.
So, Bobby, I wasn't quite sure what to do, and I wanted your advice. Do I go straight or do I put it on the rocks? Because I don't want to screw up the taste.
So personal preference, like we're not really snobs. We're like, you have to do it this way. Now, I'd say I have. So my buddy has a thing about putting with Coke, doing mixers or whatever. And honestly, like once you get your whiskey, I mean the Van Winkles like pour their whiskey with orange juice. They do all sorts of weird stuff. You know what I mean? So there's no rules. My kind of issue is when people put it on crushed ice. So I have a brother-in-law.
Like they're making a Slurpee or a slushy or something.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if you're gonna pour that like honey Tennessee Jim Beam or whatever, like yeah, do whatever you want. But like I remember one time my brother-in-law came over and I was showering before like they got there early and I come out, he's got a tall glass of crushed ice with whiskey, and I'm like, my wife, I'm like, what did he pour? She's like, I don't know anything. I'm like, is that the Widow? I swear, I looked at the thing. I'm thinking that's the Widow Jane 15-year. I'm like gonna murder, like that he's putting that. And I mean, here's the thing. So I think doing it neat, with nothing is a great way to start, just because you're gonna get a better aroma and all that. But the thing about water, what people don't understand is at some point it will get diluted. So 1 cube is better because less surface area, right? But a cube is great because the whiskey, even without water, is going to evolve in the glass a little bit. The air is going to make it evolve. Some whiskeys get better. Some need to like cook a little bit. But the water, like, some people add a drop or a couple drops. Water will really open up flavor. And cask strength, the one that your wife was choking on, Leo, that could have been the mash bill. There's a really interesting, there's a couple actually unique styles of whiskey that we had never had in a lineup that are in this lineup. One that everybody loved, one that honestly wasn't my cup of tea, but everyone else loved it blind, and it won bottle design of the year. And then it could just be like if it's high proof. I mean, we've had 151 26 year in our lineups. You know, we've had a few hazmats in the lineup, and some hazmats don't even taste that hot, and it's really interesting. And it's almost dangerous. Like, why is God pulling on my cheeks? But that water, see, the cask strength isn't meant to be like, let's be tough. The cask strength is let's proof it down to our liking, is really what it's about. Like, you're supposed to proof it down. So I don't like to say do it this way, do it that way. I would just say if you're doing a few rocks, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a fast drinker, you know, the less rocks, drink faster. But the water does help a little bit in terms of altering the flavor and opening up the flavor.
So I opened up all my bottles, and I've just had them sitting here open for a little while because I like to let them breathe a little bit. And then I'm going to treat it like a wine tasting. I'm going to do a quick taste, do a little swish in the mouth, and then do a nice big taste and get that full flavor going here. So we're on sample A.
Sample A.
Yeah,
so when just like with wine, when you're doing whiskey, there's 4 stages. The first is color and appearance, right? So it's the prelude, and so you can look at the leg just like you do with wine. It tells you about the viscosity. It's very oily. It might even tell you that it's made in a pot still. If you get really viscous legs, it might be that it's higher proof. If you get deep color, that might tell you that it's finished in another type of barrel. It might mean that it's well aged and it has more wood influence. It could be a used barrel, like you see old scotches and they're not that deep rich in color because they use used bourbon barrels. The second stage is the aroma. Generally, you want to keep your mouth slightly ajar, create some airflow. Usually one nostril is better than the other. I always call this my DeLorean nostril because this other one it doesn't operate the way you want it to. And usually one of your olfactories is going to be a little bit better than the other. And the aroma, and then the taste, right? And taste isn't like, oh, well, this part of the tongue and that. Usually taste is the deep, the richness, but also how many parts of your palate is it affecting will really tell you how good a whiskey is. And then the finish, which we call that Kentucky hug, right? How long does it stick with you? And obviously a higher proof might stick longer. Sometimes you get what we call the fruit stripe whiskey, where it leaves you really quickly and it doesn't stick around. But those are the 4 main stages, and trying to figure out what you like and doing it blind. Yeah, remove the bias, remove the label, remove the price. Let's just see, is this something that you like?
All right, so I'm tasting my first one now. I took a couple sips while you were describing it for us, and I'm going to take my big taster sip here.
Now for the taster A, I'm definitely telling you that's a roasted because it's got a smoky taste to it.
Very smoky taste.
We'll be back after a quick break.
I want to tell you about Kale Your Idols, a new Hollywood podcast.
You might not know this, but the 70s are often considered the greatest decade in film history.
No, they know this. Everybody listening already knows about this.
Well, just in case they don't, this is the decade of The Godfather, Star Wars, Jaws, The Exorcist.
Dog Day Afternoon, Killer of Sheep, Shampoo. Are these movies over-discussed? Perhaps, but we're the only podcast that's doing a deep dive into this era.
Again, we're called Kale Your Idols. That's Kale as in Kael, named after the iconic film critic Pauline Kael.
Maybe these movies are extremely familiar to you.
Or maybe you haven't seen any 70s films.
Either way, check out Kale Your Idols.
Kael.
Are you sure we shouldn't change the name?
Yeah.
Now 80 proof is the lowest proof we can go on this.
Yeah, if it's lower than 80, then it's not whiskey.
Yeah. Water. So I'm going to put my numbers in. See how close I get to this.
Yeah, I got my numbers in.
Got mine in here for that too.
Yeah, and the score, keep in mind, like, you're getting a score, so you don't have to get the proof or the age on the nose. You'll get points if you're close, right?
Yeah.
And if you're getting 40% or more overall in terms of score, the amount of points that you're getting out of the total, that's pretty good, right? So it's not like school where 40% is failing or 50 or 60. Like, some people will get above a 70, and that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
My guys know what's in the lineup and not get above a 70.
All right, so I am ready to move on to sample B now.
Yeah. Sample B's coming up.
Sample B is the one my wife coughed after she drank.
She called it what?
She was the one coughing after this one.
Oh, okay, that's interesting because, well, I won't say anything. But...
Sample B. Not an overly strong smell to it.
Yeah, if you notice, like the difference between A and B are pretty drastically different.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we're
Yeah.
trying to do is
got a bite to it on B. Got a real.
we're trying to create an experience, right? So that you don't want a bunch of brown sugar, caramel, vanilla bourbons in a row. You know, if I put Maker's Mark and Woodford and stuff that you can get, first of all, that's not special. But also, there's not that much of a difference between some of the main brands. There's a reason why there's not a drastic difference between some of your traditional well pours.
Shows you how people's palates are different too. Like Mike, you thought the second one had more bite than the first one. I actually thought the first one had more bite. This one I actually think is a little, at least for me, it's a little bit smoother than the first one.
I agree. I think
And it's the one my wife couldn't handle.
Though I like a smoky bourbon anyway, so
Yeah.
This is,
I really like that. I like that second one.
that's why I have a smoker to smoke my own bourbons when I get.
I'm pulling up the results just so that way I'm ready. I know what they all are, but I don't know every single detail. Like, always, anyways.
This has a slightly oily taste to it too. B, you know, it's smooth, but it's silky.
It's a little. It's got like a thickness to it a little bit.
Yeah,
like that syrupy thickness to it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like that one a lot. I really like that one. Let's see here. Sample C.
Let's get to it.
You guys are killing me.
Yeah, you guys are doing the speed run right now.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like we all three of us have to work tomorrow, and like Kevin and I are teachers.
Nice. Wait, what do you guys teach?
Go ahead, Kev. You go first.
Well, it depends on the day. No, I teach at a high school, and they have me spread out over a number of things. So I teach middle school social studies and writing lab, but I also teach a film appreciation class and TV and film production.
Love that. That's so cool. Oh,
I love it too. The best.
I teach like kind of part-time. I'm a STEM teacher. I'm the director of technology at the school that I work at. So I run the building basically.
Love that. Well, so I'm an educator myself. I mean, my main bread and butter for the last 25 years is I get kids into elite colleges with test scores and college application essays.
Nice.
So strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. They'll hire me. They're like, "Oh, this is the guy that's going to get you into Stanford." And I show up and I got flip-flops and a beard. And
whiskey samples for them.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I have a student that's coming to my location here at 7 because pretty much everything's Zoom now, but this pyramid's adamant that they want to hear. I'm like, well, just so you know, this is my other business, and this is a place where we sell whiskey. And then they're like, it's fine. It needs to be in person.
I did that
like, okay.
when I used to teach high school, and I did that. I worked through the guidance office helping students with their college applications.
Yeah, it's kind of an art form, and you know, I'll tell you, dealing with the parents, as you guys know, is where you kind of get into it. It's like, oh god,
Mike is a professional dungeon master.
No,
I will say I've worked in. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I know it secondhand from you guys and my wife working in schools. I do not.
I think you work inner city, and the issue is if you get the parents are on your side, right? But now I've moved out to the suburbs, and to get the parents, it's hit or miss, you know, because sometimes it's the kids are flawless, you know, when dealing with the parents. It's like, not my child. I do say the school district I'm in, I've had 100% support from the parents. So
nice.
It's like, awesome. Yeah.
You know, I'm on
the. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, sometimes they'll show up and like take notes for the kid. I'm like, what's happening here? Like, what
it's not working. Yeah, that's not the right way to do it.
Or I'm like, you know, like when I'm working with the kids' essays, I call it the therapy session, where I'm just digging, and sometimes we uncover some really interesting, sometimes dark things or whatever, and the parents going to stifle that. And it's like, look, I'm not, you know, you go look it up. I'm not on Megan's Law, so you don't have to worry about me. You know, if you want to be here from a safety standpoint, that's fine. But if you're influencing what I'm trying to do, then you're going to mess with the recipe.
So I started tasting the third one now. Sample C. Anybody else sample it yet?
Yeah.
Is it like fruity to you, or is that just me?
It's a little fruity, but it's really smooth.
It's smooth, but I feel like there's like some sort of like extra flavor to it that I can't quite put my finger on.
Yes, he's a very unique one.
Actually, I think I would really like to see.
I like it. I'm trying to. I wish I could figure out what it is. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with this.
Yes, he's one of my all-time favorites for sure, and I think it has one of the better noses. You know, the aromas on.
Yeah, it smells good too. Yeah,
it's kind of on another level.
It doesn't have that really harsh backbite that some whiskeys can give you. After you
the aftertaste is not.
It's not overpowering.
Yeah.
No.
If you guys want to cleanse your aroma, one of the things you can do is you can smell your wrist. Like smelling your own pheromones is a good way to actually cleanse. Coffee's another good way to do that.
My wrist smells like cat food right now.
Oh, you ruined it.
That's a special that Leo gets at Wawa.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what a Wawa is. There's not one.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Wawa's in California. All right, let's go to sample D here. I feel good at the end of this.
I'm already feeling good.
Might just take what's left of the 4 bottles, just put all in one glass. Right?
Don't.
So let's see.
I was thinking I was going
to
do all of each of these, and then I realized that would be a bad idea. Not only that, but then my wife would be like, "You didn't save any for me."
I love that you guys have wives that'll drink with you. Like
yeah, well, that's why I told my wife try it beforehand because I'm drinking the rest of it tonight.
Well, my wife doesn't drink whiskey except unless it's like fire. That's the only thing she likes. So
my wife prefers
you mean
whiskey
Fireball, or she wants it high proof.
No, she likes she's not a big Fireball. She's more into the Jim Beam fire.
She likes that cinnamon flavor.
Yeah,
the devil's cut.
No, it's still a cinnamon whiskey, but
yeah,
last one smells really good.
Some cinnamon whiskeys are actually really good.
Yeah. But she gets more Jim Beam because I'm more of a Jim Beam type of guy.
This last one opened my nostrils up a little bit.
Yeah.
It is. Ooh.
Knocked me in my nuts.
Oh, God.
That is.
Yeah, so that's one you might want to put a little water, put a little touch of water in it.
I already drank it, man. Thanks for telling me that now.
You know, well, that's the thing. If it comes in hot, you know, like you can make it. You can't unproof whiskey, is what it is, right? You can't, like, if you dilute it too much, you can't undilute it. But yeah, you can definitely proof it down. Now, so yeah, do it first. Yeah, let it be hot. Like, you get the sensation of what it is in its pure essence and its original form. But then, you know, turn it into whatever your liking is.
Right now, I think my favorite was the second one so far.
Okay. The one that Leo's wife hated.
The one that my wife hated is the one that I like the best. It makes sense. She hates everything I like. So,
and looking at my scores, I think I scored the sample. If I'm reading the scores correctly, I think
your score is just how accurate you are. It's not what you like.
Oh, okay.
My score is.
I also believe I liked Whiskey B best.
Yeah,
B best.
That's the first whiskey in the lineup that we sold for under $50. So that is. I mean, you guys already got the scores. When you want to see what your score is, and I'll tell you what everything is.
Yeah, I got the scores. Oh my goodness, I didn't do too well.
What's not too well? Were you in 20?
So here's the bet. The person with the lowest score has to go into Home Depot wearing a ballerina costume, and you have to ask for all the wood they have, some really hard caulk, and a big screw.
Leah, I'm going to need to borrow your ballerina costume.
It's not for me, so I don't give a shit.
You only take the black cock.
So, Mike, what was your score?
By whiskey or by overall?
Your total. What was your total score?
38%.
38%.
That's good.
Right.
That's solid. That's not bad at all. That's what I'm saying. People have a weird perception.
Yeah, Kev, what was yours?
32%.
Okay, you guys ready for mine?
Go ahead.
42%.
Ooh, barely he eked you out.
Wow.
You know, I'm not lying.
Let me tell you this. On the
shame I don't live in a town with a Home Depot.
Example, me, I got 55 out of 70.
Lowe's will work. You have a Lowe's in Cherry Hill, dude. Go ahead, Mike. What were you saying?
One is a brand that you probably heard of. You ever heard of Koval? So they're a fairly big craft brand. Bourbon, ryes are really well distributed. They have a special release called the Thresh and Winnow series, and take a look at that bottle. It is a gorgeous bottle. I think this retails for
really cool. I like the label.
$95 to $105. I think our members get it for like $80. This is a 100% millet grain. That's not a mash bill that you'll ever see pretty much anywhere. But yes, some people I think bought this bottle just because they want to eventually put oil in it after they're done drinking it. It's got some cherry cola notes. I would say it's not my favorite whiskey, but it was a lot of people in a blind tasting's favorite whiskey. But yeah, we're lucky. You know, we work with a brand that's well distributed. My first conversation with them, like, do you have anything that's really, really special? Like, we're actually going out tomorrow to New Orleans for 25 hours to go do a blend with one of the top blenders in the industry with the brand that's really well distributed to make a custom, unique blend that only our members are going to get for the March lineup. So one of the cool things that we get to do. Sample.
Just brag a little bit here. The second one, Rieger.
It is. That's the J. Rieger. That is the
Rieger.
sherry.
I was on the nose with the age statement. I said 4 years, and it was 4 years.
And that's tough because, you know, first of all, it's technically not whiskey. It's a new category. So you can finish it in a sherry cask, but once you actually throw sherry into the whiskey, it's technically not whiskey anymore. So it's Kansas City style. They got a new designation, just the way, you know, Jack Daniel's got a Tennessee for that charcoal finish, that maple charcoal finish that they do for. It's technically bourbon by every definition, but that J. Rieger is. You know, for $45 for members to get a J. Rieger is pretty phenomenal. It's a killer price point.
Yeah.
The third one, the Jimmy Red.
Third one was Jimmy Red. So have you guys heard of?
No, I haven't heard of any of these. Yeah.
I got the A type, and I was.
That is the one I was closest on the age. I was closest on the proof with that one.
Howard Distillery, they're out of South Carolina, and there was this heirloom corn. There was this Jimmy Red corn, you know, in the world, you know, they call it Bloody Butcher, right? There was a certain heirloom that literally there was 2 ears of corn left in existence, and they slowly brought it back into existence, and that's 100%.
Wow.
This is the bourbon. It's 100 proof. It's bottled in bond. You know, I'll tell you, if you go try their different barrels.
It doesn't taste 100 proof. It actually tastes lower to me.
Yeah, I thought the third one was
an easy drinker.
Yeah, it was an easy drinker for one that's a high proof. Yeah.
It's a porch pounder for sure.
Yeah. The last one,
I blew that one.
Last one was Reunion.
Yeah, Reunion. They're out of Kansas.
I got the type right on that. I said rye.
And it's high proof, right? So it's a higher proof. It's cask strength. It's the reserve. You know, it's funny. I would say that this is a rye that a lot of bourbon drinkers really like. You know, everyone thinks you have to get pure spice on the notes.
I'm not a big rye guy, which is why I was able to guess that was a rye.
Okay.
Like I could taste right away that it was a rye. I think the second one was my favorite one, the Rieger.
I think you're right. I think the second one was my favorite.
I tell you the truth, I like the third one to see. Favorite.
Yeah, so if you look at all of our members and by bottle orders, the order I would say that it ended up in was Koval had the most ordered, sample A. And then C and D had the second most orders, and then last place actually the most bottle orders and the most affordable was the J. Rieger. But you know, and there's some people that buy 3 of every bottle every time, so everybody's a little bit different, everybody's unique. It's really, if I get 20 people in a room, there's 3 people that are going to say A is their favorite. The same will be true for B, C, and D. And there's one person in the room that hates A. There's one, your wife hates, you know, the one that you all 3 love or that 2 of you love. Your wife didn't like that. There's always somebody. And it could be that you just had some Toshita peppers for lunch, right? It could be something like that.
I just think it's like everybody's palate's different too. So.
Well,
I would drink 3 of the 4 because I'm not a big rye guy. The first 3 I would have fun with, yeah.
But I also look at the way with our guys is I know Kevin's more of a beer guy. Leo is a gin guy. And I'm
Ooh.
Well, I'm a bourbon guy too. I like
You do.
bourbon too. I bourbon and gin. Yeah.
but you
You
like
guys ever have Middle West?
No.
So Middle West, that's actually what I'm drinking right now. I'm drinking Middle West. This is their double cask series. It's Napoleon Cavalados, which is kind of like an apple brandy cask finish.
Okay.
It's a mix of their soft winter wheat and their dark pumpernickel rye. Now they have a pumpernickel rye. Now what that means is they leave the husk on when they're distilling. And the dark pumpernickel rye, like we sell it for $50. I got to tell you, I love when people come over and they're like, "Do you have any bourbon?" And I was like, "You mean like whiskey?" And they're like, "I only drink bourbon." And then I'll pour them Middle West dark pumpernickel rye. And they're like, "This is an amazing bourbon." It's a rye. So stop saying you like bourbon and stop thinking that ryes are always one. Ryes are probably the most dimensional whiskey of any of the whiskeys. They can be fruity, they can be floral. They don't have to be baking spices and the clove and the traditional spice notes that you get. And that's why, I don't like well pour ryes because they're one dimensional. But craft ryes are, man, you're gonna get.
I'm looking at the shelves behind you, and I'm like a little jealous.
Oh yeah, no, this is a fun place to work. We get sent probably 50 bottles a month, and it's like, oh no, we got to drink whiskey to figure out what's going to be in the lineup.
hiring.
They've got homework.
So while we're still able to talk a little bit, because I could already feel myself getting to slur mode, I'm going to I'm going to play a song real quick, and we're going to do some This Week in Film History.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
1939 adventure film Dungadin, based on the poem by Rudyard Kipling and starring Cary Grant, Victor Langan, and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. is released.
You got to get that second name right there, Mike. It's Victor McLaughlin from The Quiet Man.
Dude, I can barely see straight. Leave me alone.
Go ahead and hit the second one.
1940, The Grapes of Wrath, directed by John Ford and based on John Steinbeck's novel of the same name, starring Henry Fonda and Jane Darwell, is released.
I believe this is maybe the first Oscar for John Ford, but I know it's one of his earliest films. Okay. Next one you got there, Mike.
1961, the U.S. Supreme Court rules cities and states have the right to censor films.
Yeah, I found that interesting, so I kind of looked that up a little bit because I want to find more information out about it. It says that
Hayes Act from 1934.
No, I mean that was that a lot of that had to do with
the Catholic Church came in.
What they kind of agreed was
We
appropriate.
don't want to watch Miracle on 34th Street. There's a divorced woman who makes her own decisions in it.
And she wears pants.
She wears
And there's a magical Christmas man that isn't Jesus.
This is 1961 Supreme Court case, Time Films Corporation versus City of Chicago. It upheld Chicago's right to require pre-screening of films for censorship. It eventually was disbanded when First Amendment protections became more prevalent for movies. So that was that.
In 1968, Arthur Penn's film Bonnie and Clyde premieres in Paris, France, with stars Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway in attendance.
Bonnie and Clyde, also the first film appearance for Gene Wilder.
1982, Shaolin Temple martial arts film released, first Hong Kong feature film in China, directed by Chang Xin Ying and starring Jet Li in his debut role.
You did a good job with that name there, Mike. I'm proud of you. Usually trouble with
I'm teaching China in social studies, and I'm
Shang Xin Yin. You did pretty good with it.
How old was Jet Li in that movie? I mean, is he that old?
Jet Li, I just saw him in an interview recently, and he's like 70 now, like in his 70s. Like
Wow.
he's old.
Jet Li is 70. Shut
Yeah,
up.
Jet Li, he
For
looks
real?
old as shit. He had like white hair and everything, man.
Like in 2001, what was the one? Was it called The One?
Yeah,
Yes.
he was in The
Mhm.
One.
Like that movie's so dope.
I remember Jet
So
Li.
you're
and all
saying
these,
he was like 45 when he made The One?
yeah, he was like in his 50s when he did The Expendables.
Well, that makes sense because they were all old and whatever. They were all in their 60s.
They're all pretty old. Yeah,
Asians
Kevin and I think The Expendables is the funniest movie we've ever seen.
I love watching Arnold with his walker as he's letting C4 down around the place.
See, the
What are you
problem,
saying, Mike?
Asians don't age until they hit a point, and they just
Oh,
yeah, they're 30 until they're 80, and then they're 140.
they're 30, and Pat Morita.
I mean, we still look at like Michelle Yeoh and
Except Michelle Yeoh is still fucking
Michelle
gorgeous.
Yeoh, yeah.
Next one, Mike.
Where am I? 1984 Apple Cinema ad for the new Macintosh computer, directed by Ridley Scott, loosely based on George Orwell's 1984, plays during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I just rewatched this commercial after I saw you put this in here. I rewatched the commercial. It's really weird.
Well, it was a slow week for movies. So, in 2006, Walt Disney International and Bob Iger announced it is buying computer animation film studio Pixar for $7.4 billion.
World peace is achieved.
In the last 2024, actor Alec Baldwin indicted
Indicted
by a grand jury on involuntary manslaughter charges over the 2021 fatal shooting on a movie set.
What was the name of the movie that they were shooting?
Rust.
Very good.
Yeah. I knew it was like a small word. I couldn't think of what it was.
He was acquitted, though, right?
I think so.
I think eventually
I think
because
the armor got put away though.
Yeah, the person that actually gave him the gun.
It's insane that happens. I mean, that's how Bruce Lee's kid died. Same thing.
Yeah, like there's people on the set who are supposed to check the weapons and stuff before they hand them to the actors.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
the armor.
I don't think Alec Baldwin's a great person, but like I can't blame him for this really because he doesn't know, that the gun had non-blanks in it or whatever,
No, I mean you can like or dislike Alec, and I think it's really easy to do both, honestly.
Mhm.
I think it's funny if you watch him in like Glengarry Glen Ross, like, oh my god,
Oh, I love that.
what a tour de force he has in
And like
one
he's
scene of the movie.
extremely funny in 30 Rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's phenomenal, but he's also
a pretty shit human being sometimes.
he's a pretty shitty, like it's like you get Mel Gibson and him who are on the opposite sides of the spectrum, but you get him calling his daughter a piggy, and then you get Mel Gibson telling the girl she should blow him in the jacuzzi. And it's a great dynamic of
They're fun at parties. They're a lot of fun at parties,
It's like, stop ruining my childhood, guys.
I'm going to tell you, being former military, blanks can be dangerous.
Mhm.
If
Well, that's what killed Brandon Lee was a blank, but it just happened to be like so up close.
It was wedged, yeah.
It can be very dangerous being up close.
Yeah.
So it's still
they went and
You know,
shot with it, and then they never cleared it.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude.
There was a
You
guy
know,
on the Phantom Menace who got fired because the lightsabers, he didn't properly
I forgot
look
to
at
check
them.
to make sure that they were using the stunt sabers.
He's looking down the barrel.
Look at that barrel, turned it on, got in the eye like Luke.
Lee that you really like.
Yeah, I just started the recording so we could talk about mashing corn between our ass cheeks online.
Yeah, you got it.
So yeah, we're talking about Mike. We're talking about Mike's ass bourbon that he has there.
Also, this is a local one that we have here. It's Bird Gang.
So yeah, we're Eagles fans because we live in near the Philly area. So this is the official bourbon of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Love that.
They
That's
also
awesome.
have a gin and a tequila.
Yeah, they always make gin and tequila because the stuff, tequila only takes 6 months to age. Gin doesn't age at all. So the neutral spirits are what most distilleries make. And so if you look at like a lot of distilleries that want to make whiskey, most will source from MGP, Midwest Grain Product out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And so if you ever see Indiana on a bottle from a distillery that isn't from Indiana, they're sourcing from MGP. And the ones that are blending out there, Widow Jane and Nulu and dark arts. We love like the people that are really good master blenders. I mean, they're phenomenal, and like we're fired up to go do our own blend.
So, Bobby, since we already kind of talked a lot about blind barrels and we just did our own little tasting segment here, I want to talk to you a little bit about your film career.
Yes.
Like kind of how did you get started in it? And we all three of us watched The Business of Amateurs recently.
Oh, dude, thank you guys. I want to send you a link.
Oh no, it's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
You can watch it on Tubi right now.
Goddamn, where's my Tubi check?
You should ask them about it because it's on Tubi right now. It's on a couple of the free streamers, so you should ask them.
Yeah, I think it's on Prime and sometimes it's on Hulu.
Yeah. It's on right now. I know it's on Tubi. That's where I watch it. At least, Kevin, I think you've seen.
That's where I watched it.
I did. I had to. I didn't have to watch it on Tubi. I chose to because I was having buffering issues with the other two.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of it?
So I really enjoyed it.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. I was telling the guys in the pre-show before you came on that I was
it did hurt
during the beginning portion of it when we were talking a lot about the the like corruption and all that stuff. I was like mildly frustrated, and then at the end when he got into all the CTE stuff, I was like superbly depressed.
I'm gonna tell you
it was really like it pissed me off in a good way because I thought it was a good documentary.
Yes.
But it angered me because of a lot of things I didn't know before I watched it.
It was a really hard film to make. So basically, I went to USC on a football scholarship. As you guys saw the film, and I was in the business scholars program, which means I got to take business. I was one of 100 students selected to be in the business program, like as a freshman. They told me I couldn't be in the film school, which is one of the reasons why I went there over Harvard and Stanford. And then I figured out why, and it's because all the core curriculum prerequisites are during football from like 2 to 6 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I met with the dean of the film school and I said, hey, can I take Cinema 101 last? It doesn't make any sense, but it's the only way I can, get in here. And she let me. So I was the first football player to ever get in the film school at USC. When I got out, I literally did test prep as a means to make a living while I was trying to make films. I partnered with a company called Pelagius Films that we went on to make one of the first, what some people say is the first Black art house film, meaning an African-American directed film, not just directed by the filmmaker Casey Lemons, but one that was really geared towards African-American audiences. It hadn't really happened. I think Precious gets a lot of credit for it. First time you see both white and Black audiences to go see that film. In terms of being well known, and we came out before that, but the distributor Focus Features, the specialty arm of Universal, tried to sell it to white people because this movie's so good, we need to sell it to white people. And I'm like, we got the N-word 30 times. I'm I don't know what. And there were literally Black people getting on, but it was an important, true story. And I made a documentary that was based upon. So my producer credit got robbed from that film at the last second. So I then produced the documentary that Don Cheadle narrated for PBS. And then I really got disillusioned. I wanted to make films because I love the idea of legacy and telling a story, and you do it with a company. You guys know your parents, you do it when you have kids. There's a lot of ways to make a legacy. You do it with your podcast, something that'll live beyond anything that you create. And that's what I love about entrepreneurship. And my partners were really more interested in look at me and the fame part of it, or just trying to get laid. And I got disillusioned with them and I left, and I was tired of waiting. I still have films that have big name directors and people attached. Development is really a difficult part of making a film. People don't understand, you got to develop 50 things to make one thing. And so when I left the company, I said, I'm going to go make something that I know a lot about and that I care about, which was, college athletes and amateurism. And there was a lot that I knew. There was a lot I had to learn from it. And I did a Kickstarter where I raised $30,000 from it, really because Matt Barkley, who was the backup quarterback at USC, made a tweet at some point, and then
I remember Barkley ended up playing for the Cardinals, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a career backup. I mean, the dude probably made $25 million just games. I mean, God bless him. But he tweeted out, "Do you think college athletes deserve more rights? This documentary does," and linked to the Kickstarter. And the next day, the press and everything picked up. Matt Barkley thinks players should be paid, and it's kind of a brave thing for him to do, even though he did it in a really responsible and honest way right before he was getting drafted. And that got us over to the edge, and we shot 73 days in 22 cities on that budget, which we put 10 grand towards equipment and lighting and upgrading our lenses and things like that, and then everything else went towards travel and just making sure my cinematographer, who also produced it with me, my editor, who was my B camera guy and also produced it with me, and it was a labor of love. And I'd say the journalistic part of that was, when you're talking to a widow whose husband was taking off life support, when she's talking to you, like literally,
that portion of the film, man, crushed me. That crushed me. Was that Ron? Was it
Ron
Perriman?
Yeah, Ron Perriman.
Yeah, Ron Perriman. Yeah, like that portion very crushed me.
Yeah, she was, and it's kind of a bright spot and a dark spot because it's a time where Boston College took care of his family.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say Boston College actually stepped up to the plate on that one. Yeah,
yeah, I was glad to hear that because seemed like it was the only college that was mentioned in the documentary that actually did something.
I tried to make USC be a hero, but they wouldn't walk through the door. I actually created a health plan. I spent a whole year creating a health plan that would cover every athlete at the school for the next 70 years based upon injuries they sustained in the sport that year, and then include revenue athletes, non-revenue walk-ons. And it was, I'll tell you, creating a health plan is really difficult. And the idea was if you get one school to adopt it, then all the other schools would have to do it based upon competition. So the ways to change the system is through legislation. That's the slowest way. Litigation, also another slow way. Unionization, as we saw, met with all sorts of pitfalls. But competition, which is ultimately what changed the system. So I'm on the oversight committee for the nonprofit that created all the NIL laws. And 5 minutes of the film and part of that first act played for the state Senate hearings for the Supreme Court. So we set out to change the system, and we did play a role in changing the system. And ultimately, it was competition. So when California passed it, all the Floridas jumped up and fast-tracked it, and then that's what fast-tracked it to, we'd love to say that all the schools did this from an altruistic standpoint, but they did it from a money revenue bottom line standpoint.
Now,
it was also like a publicity standpoint too.
I was going to say public opinion had to play a part too,
I mean, everything we did, we started making that film in 2013 when we first started shooting it. The idea of players making money from their own name, image, and likeness was very controversial.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and I never understood that. And it's funny, the Ed O'Bannon lawsuit where, he was in a video game and he sued EA Sports. People were like mad at Ed because it got rid of the video game for a while. And when there was a kickback thing that played out, I missed the cutoff by a year from like when I was in the video game. And I was like, thank God. Because it wasn't that much money, but like I was a liability in the video game. Like I was, my senior year.
When I sober up and I play Madden later, I'm gonna be a Bobby DeMars character.
You won't find me in Madden, but the NCAA game, you have to substitute me in, and I think I'm the only player I've ever seen that had agility that was less than 30 out of 100. And I was like, I'm the worst. So I'm like, I have to admit that I have 28 out of 100 agility to say that's me. That's my likeness. You owe me money because I have horrible agility, but I don't want to admit that. But I'd say the hardest thing in that film was actually, I don't know if you guys saw Scott Ross's death coming.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I did.
Or if you knew about it, that was something that happened after we had made the film.
I assumed it was something you weren't planning on happening as you're making a documentary. Yeah. And honestly, when it came up, I was hoping during the whole time I was watching it that there wasn't going to be something like that at the end.
Yeah, the hardest thing
had that feeling,
Yeah,
I knew when his girlfriend called me at 10:30 at night that
it was not good. Yeah,
and there's guilt that comes with letting that go to voicemail for the sake of the film. He was actually, we don't know whether his body gave out or whether he died, from an overdose of drinking. But he was found in a church, and he was supposed to meet his son that he had never met for the first time the next day. There was a lot of things that we didn't include in the documentary. And I don't posit it like he killed himself. I don't really know 100% one way or the other. So I'm saying that,
it could have just been his body giving out after all that abuse,
he would call me in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. and say if the handle on this bottle was a trigger, I'd pull it, and I would be up with them for 4 hours trying to keep him from killing himself.
Jesus.
I mean, it says something like, because you mentioned Junior Seau in the documentary too, and like I remember when that whole story came out, and I was like, oh my god, like that's why isn't something being done about that? Because it's craziness.
And Sydney, they wouldn't let his daughter talk at the Hall of Fame thing after he was dead, and Sydney, his daughter, actually saw the film at a USC screening because she was in the film school when I did a screening there, and she came up and really offered some positive validation for the film, which I thought was, it's those little things that make it worth it. There's some weird things that happen where, like, I've taken every dollar from the film and put it towards causes, like Scott Ross's daughter and including, but there's been like family of, that have been like, we heard that this was on Netflix and I can't believe you're making money off of this. And I was like, first of all, it wasn't ever on Netflix. Second of all, there wasn't any big payout from this. I lost money making this film.
No, I was going to say, like, I feel like your purpose for this was not to make a profit. It was to get a message out there that needed
the message out. Yeah.
The only selfish thing was to try to create something that I cared about, that I was a part of, which there's a lot of ambivalence that comes with any of it. There's ambivalence that comes with the fact that I'm proud that I'm a college athlete. And we make that point kind of at the end where it's like, this is what we do with things that we care about, is we push them to be better. The rower from Berkeley said that. And I remember, like, when it was such a lightning bolt when she said that. And even Ed O'Bannon saying that, look, this is what my school taught me to do, which is to stand up for myself. And, like, the end of the film is saying that we must fight on. And I think it's subtle to everybody, but people that understand fight on is something that USC ingrains in you. And I'm literally stating what I learned as a college athlete. And I'm making a point with that last line in the movie. But that was a fight with my editor.
I have there's a certain spot in the movie that hurts my heart. It really does. It kills me. Because I'm from North Carolina originally.
I know, we made it UNC look bad. We made UNC and Oklahoma look bad.
Now, but there's a funny part about it, because my wife, she went to Penn. She's an Ivy Leaguer. And if I don't know if you know, I'm pretty sure you know the movie. What was it, Leo? Come on, give it to me.
The Longest Yard?
No. Sister Act.
Oh, there you go. That was going to be my next shot.
In a bird course. In a bird course, which is the paper course, as you said in church. So I always gave my wife hell because she's a sociology major.
Yeah. And if you open up most football programs, if you open up a football or basketball program, you're going to see a third of the players are undeclared, right? And the majority of the rest of them are sociology.
Yeah.
And
I remember, like, communications was like
late
a big one
90s,
too.
early 2000s.
Was Mary Willingham mention that? Did she mention that? Like, she's like, if you notice, all these players are in sociology. It's easy program.
No, what it was back in the early 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s, during the tournament, the NCAA tournament, they would always put who's ever at the foul line, what their major was. And I'm like, sociology. I go, look, babe, they got a bird course. So
you just didn't know that she was enrolled with a scholarship for professional.
No. See, Penn does not have professional have scholarships for athletes. That's why you never win anything, because you got those little Chinese guys 5 foot nothing playing basketball versus the guys. Right.
I almost made a sequel.
I went to Temple. We never won shit either.
It was a fucking known school in the fucking NCAA. Penn is not.
I mean, that's also one of the things, is that all of the non-revenue sports have mostly white athletes, and their tuition is covered by mostly people of color that are in the revenue sports. So it's kind of one of the things we don't hit on in the film, but I mean, I could have made 8 movies out of it. I could have done a 10-part series out of it. I just
there was a whole section of the film where you talked about, like, the majors and, like, they're not being prepared for life after the sport, because not all of them are going to make the pros. And I remember, like, I taught it at, like, an inner city high school, and I remember the students, like mostly, like, the African American students were like, your only way out is to play sports. And
we hit on that sophomore section. Yeah, and the reality is the head injuries and the lifelong,
Right.
mental health issues that you may or may not have from playing the sport. It's a trade-off on whether it's worth it to lift yourself out of poverty.
There was one part in the documentary I kind of disagreed with. The statement was, yes, it is the college's responsibility to educate the pro athletes. But if they're coming in at a third grade level of reading, that's on the high schools.
Yeah, so it really plays into
no child are left behind.
I would,
everything.
Yeah, I don't know if that's disagreeing with the documentary in terms of like we make the point that kid's coming in with a third grade reading level and he's graduating, he can't read. Yeah, we don't sit there and like go interview, but this happens in the South mostly.
Yeah,
this is predominantly in the South, and I didn't want to hit on the fact that most D linemen in the SEC can't read, and turn it into kind of a racial issue and this and that. But yeah, they want to wave the banner and the flag that we put Tommy to Auburn, and yeah, it's all these high school.
I'm not going to say it's all a South thing either, because like I lived in Philadelphia most of my life, and I taught in Philadelphia, and students that I taught, I had a remedial senior class, so it was like students with like a fourth grade reading level, and
yeah,
I used to deal with the NCAA all the time because like the GPA mattered and all that stuff, and it was a pain in the ass to have to like.
Yeah, Congressman Cardenas makes that point. Congressman Cardenas makes that point. Like that guy comes in at a third grade reading level, and 3 or 4 years later, he still can't read. That's hypocrisy. Now, I'll tell you what's funny about that shooting day. So we went to D.C. to interview Congressman Cardenas, and as we're getting on the plane, I have a call from his rep that says he got food poisoning and he's not going to be able to make the flight. He's not going to be there. So we're literally flying to DC. So like me walking to Mr. D, Bobby D goes to Washington. I'm going to like we literally went to go like we got the bunch of bullshit B-roll, and we came back, and then Congressman Cardenas is in Southern California, so we go to his office and we go set up in his office, and my guy opens up his lighting kit. And my cinematographer was doing a weed grow at the time. And so when he opened up his lighting kit, the whole office of a congressman smelled like weed. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And he's not there yet. And thank God he had this back door. So we put all the equipment out there. That all the lighting kit came in there. And we're like fanning it out. And that shot, it's funny. The shot of Congressman Cardenas, no one really notices it, but it's just slightly out of focus because everybody was sweating that we just made a congressman's office smell like weed.
I just thought that you were going to say like nobody noticed it, but Congressman Cardenas goes.
That's like one of the fun parts of making films, though. Is that
that's like walking down Philadelphia now.
That's what you get for making films in California, dude.
Nowadays, if somebody opened a car door in Philadelphia, that's all you smell.
Yeah. I smelled on the highway there. They drive home from work.
Oh yeah. Now you smell it everywhere. But back then, it was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. Back then,
Mike and I are both big wrestling fans, so like we were both like. I was kind of excited to see Chris Nowinski in the film because he was a wrestler in WWE for a while.
Right?
Yeah,
he went to Harvard. He wrestled for WWE.
I knew he was a big opponent for CTEs.
Well, he suffered his own CTE issues were from wrestling.
Yeah.
He's the head of the Concussion Legacy Foundation. I'm the 91st person to donate their brain for donation. And
he was also like one of the lead researchers when Chris Benoit had his incident.
Studying his brain. And Chris, he's been a big proponent, like massive. And a third of the film was shot in one weekend. I mentioned, 70 cities in 22 days. A third of the film, 22 minutes of the film, was shot in Boston. And I called up, Dr. Ann McKee, Dr. Robert Cantu, Chris Nowinski, Isaiah Kaczynski, Amy Perriman. It's funny because my cinematographer had the guy that with the weed fucking thing. He had an audition on Nickelodeon and he couldn't make the Boston trip. And so one of my wife's boss's kids who actually did. I got to tell you, this kid Sam Aberjay, he lit up the shot with Amy Perriman, and she's wearing black, and the way that the composites are really dope on what we shot. And I always think it's funny because he thinks that everything I shoot is in the movie, and it's like that's not how documentaries are. You shoot
that's not how any movie works.
It's like a 1:150 ratio, and it's like literally every interview was a breaking, like everything we shot was in the movie. And I'm like, you have a really skewed, biased version of how this shit works out. There's so many hours
that's on the director's cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the hardest thing is funny. When you direct a movie is the writing of it. It's like people are like, oh, you wrote the movie. People think that you shoot it and the editor turns it into a movie, but what you have to do is you take all these transcripts that are linked to a time code, and imagine you have like a James Michener novel that's 3,000 pages, and then all the sentences are out of order, and you have to turn it into a 40-page version of it. That's what the writing of the movie is, and that's probably one of the hardest parts.
Overall, it was a well edited. I thought it was a really good. For you're saying, like you had it was a hard budget, but it was a really well made documentary. And I watched a lot of documentaries. It was one of the better ones I've seen. Yeah.
One of the things that caught my eye when I looked it up on IMDb was that it was used for a Last Week Tonight with Stephen Colbert. He did the whole NCAA.
The John
Oliver.
John Oliver, yeah, dude.
Stephen Colbert. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. John Oliver. Yeah,
we made they paid us $800 for that segment. It was like
$800.
I was stoked. Well, I told them, I'm like, you guys can just use that for free. I love the show. And they're like, no, we pay for this. This is what, and it was cool because like the music from the montage that they used was like a friend's song that was in it. So like they got some. It was a really kind of cool. But yeah, that segment, I think in a year had like 50 million views or something, which was really cool. So
yeah, I enjoyed the show, and I was like, oh man, I don't remember this episode, but very cool to see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna hit you with one last question, and then we'll move on to our time to films that I forgot segment here. So as an athlete, entrepreneur, filmmaker, do you see any overlap in how you approach storytelling versus how you built this business?
Oh, it's all overlap, So I'm the son of an inventor, a guy that had over 200 patents, and all he did was take risks on things that may never come into fruition. And so when you start a company, when you make a film, when you invent something, when you try to breathe life into something that doesn't exist, you risk it never happening. If you don't get distribution when you make a film, you just made a really expensive home movie. And I'll tell you, getting distribution sucked because we had to get errors and omissions insurance, and you have to get a company that's going to insure the film. And there's 7 companies that do it, and 3 of them said this is too risky, we're not going to insure it. And 3 of them came back and they wanted $25,000 to insure the film. Wow. And that is with an exclusion of if a coach sues me, and I make a few coaches look bad in the film. And one company came back, Philadelphia. The name was like Philadelphia, and they came back $3,400, exactly what we had in the budget with no. And I talked to the broker. I'm like, do you think they didn't watch the movie? She's like, I don't think they watched the movie. Write them a check. I'm like, oh shit. But I'm like literally 3 days before my daughter's being born, and I'm having like a panic attack in bed because I'm about to become a father for the first time in both my daughter and in a film that may never be born. And it's the same thing with an idea. When we started this, this is making a film is really risky, and trying to start a company that's in a restrictive space like alcohol is insanely risky, and I'll tell you, it's exciting. And it is difficult, and there's so much anxiety and late nights that happen in both of them. And when you get through it, you're so thankful for it. And I had a buddy who, one of the things I'm really proud of in the film is the score. I think the score is really well done. And I had a buddy who was up for the score, and I didn't hire him, and he became my music supervisor. And it was really hard to not hire a really good friend for that role. And he said to me, look, you're going to have some really difficult days. Just remember to enjoy them. And it's something that I've taken with me into every entrepreneurial venture, including Blind Barrels. And the day that I interviewed Amy Perryman, where she gave an interview where she took her husband off life support. As difficult that it is to try to have that mindset, you're about to do something really hard, but this is going to become a memory that's going to sharpen your character and make you stronger and make you better. And it's hard to do that, but if you can do that, it makes it so much more worth it.
What percentage of your budget went towards getting a scene from The Blind Side in your film?
So that's so there's 270 clips in the movie that we didn't have clearance for.
Oh wow.
Including The Blind Side and including all that. So clearance is a whole other thing. Now, by a fluke, one of my students' parents is like the person in charge of that for like literally like half of the films ever. And so there's a guy named Don Gordon. So to clear an item in a film costs usually about $500 per item. Okay. So if I have 260 items, that's $130,000 that I would have to do to clear every single item in the film. Wow. This guy, Don Gordon, as a favor, watched the film from Ashley. I should know her last name. And he cleared all 260 items in the film for a total of $500.
Oh, wow.
And said that it was critical and timely. Mm. And if we didn't have that by one of the top lawyers, the guy that literally cleared the movie Concussion with Will Smith, they used real NFL brands in that film. Same dude that got that was the guy that cleared all the items in our film. So, when they talk about making films, it's lightning in a bottle. Like it's literally, you can, there's so many days. I'll tell you, Scott Ross, the day we interviewed him was the most lucid of any of the years that I knew him. Oh, wow. That day, God gave him his, whatever you want to call it. He gave him his brain back for 3 hours. And when we dropped him off at his hotel, we dropped him off at his hotel, he couldn't even walk. And you would think that he chugged a bottle of vodka in a bathroom somewhere. He did not. Wow. His brain was so spent from the day of what he gave us that he had to go sleep for 18 hours.
Wow.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and then we'll be back with our second segment here, which is Films That Time Forgot. All right, thank you for sticking with us after that quick break. We're moving on to our main segment for this evening, which is Films That Time Forgot. We love this. This is one of our favorite segments. It's the 13th time we've done it in the 5 seasons of the podcast. We've done a lot of really great movies in the past, so we're going to do some more tonight. Who wants to go first? We can show Bobby kind of like how we do this a little bit.
I'll go first.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
All right, so my movie, where am I at? Is from 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Director is Melvin Frank. Okay. It stars. Let's see where we should start with the stars. We'll start with Stephen Elliott, Amy Steele, Colleen Camp, Cloris Leachman, Howie Mandel, and Christopher Lloyd.
Walk Like a Man?
Yes, it is. Walk Like a Man.
Very good.
That's Bobby.
Excellent.
Very good.
The newcomer gets it on the first try.
Yeah.
First try. Yeah.
Well, name a Howie Mandel movie from the 80s.
Sure.
Little Monsters.
Little Monsters.
Which Kevin did on our last film.
Was that a Rob Reiner movie? Who did Little Monsters?
No, that wasn't the Rob Reiner.
No, he did Princess Bride, but
he did Princess Bride. Yeah,
but
Mike, it's funny. We were talking before. Kevin and I were talking before the show. 1987. So next year we got a lot of 40th anniversary movies to talk about from 1987 because you got Princess Bride, you got Die Hard, you got Predator, you got RoboCop, and you got the movie you just talked about.
My favorite Arnold in Predator, when most people go, get to the chopper. I like Predator at the end when he goes, come on, I'm here right now. Kill me, I'm here. Come on, I'm here.
What are you waiting for?
So
my favorite Arnold line is in Total Recall when he goes, clever girl.
No, it's not. Get your ass to Mars.
Get your ass to Mars. No,
get your ass to Mars.
I didn't know you were so kinky. So, Mike, talk about your movie a little bit.
Okay, my movie, which, it is it's 4.8 on IMDb. It's not a great movie. It was not a great movie.
I remember this film. I don't think I've ever seen this, which is saying a lot considering I've seen almost every film ever made.
I'll give you the synopsis real quick. As a baby, Boo Boo gets separated from his family during a camping trip. After being raised by wild dogs for 20 years, Boo Boo is discovered by animal researcher Penny, who brings him back to his family and attempts to teach Boo Boo how to readjust life with humans. While his mother is overjoyed to see him again, Boo Boo's own brother Henry is more worried about losing his share of the inheritance. So Boo Boo.
Holy shit! Wait, I just looked this up on IMDb. I haven't seen this fucking movie.
Yeah. It's Jungle Book meets Pygmalion.
It is.
He dives out.
It's a comedy of Tarzan without a
Christopher Lloyd and Howie Mandel.
yes.
But you gotta love the 80s because the 80s were like, well, what do we call it? And then they would just name it like Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman was originally called 3000 because that's how much she costs as a hooker, right? And then they're like, but we got this Roy Orbison song. Or they would write a song that was called the title, like "The Secret of My Success is I'm living." They'll just write it, the name of the title, and the fucking opening shot of the movie.
And they went for Kenny Loggins first, but he was really overwhelmed in the 80s.
Oh yeah, with Caddyshack and Vacation.
Footloose.
Yeah.
Oh, and Over the Top. Didn't he do the?
Hey,
Yeah, he did Over the Top as well.
Meet me
Yeah.
halfway.
That was almost
God.
the movie I was going to do this week was Over the
Yeah,
Top.
Over the Top is a good film that I forgot.
You know, it's like a switch. You know, when I it's like a switch.
I got to get over the phone.
How
You gotta,
convenient is it in Over the Top that he's a truck driver and the prize for the tournament is the truck?
Well, that's why he was doing it. You know, his own
In
truck.
the original script, his arm was so strong from masturbating in the truck. He didn't have one of those weight things.
He had
at
to
all.
stop when he picked his son up from military school.
It's like a switch.
He was the inventor of the shake weight, you know?
And Robert Loggia's the kid's
Robert Loggia.
grandfather.
Jesus Christ.
I love Robert Loggia and all his movies. Let's
All right.
tell the sons of bitches how to take them down. So Mike, that's a good one, man.
Hold
That
up.
was very good, Mike.
No, it does not hold up. So our usual end question for these is, did it age like wine or milk? So Mike, this is milk. This is milk. This is
Oh, it's
Curzon
no
way.
milk. It's
Yeah.
milky. It's no milk.
So Bobby, as our guest, how about you go now? Like, hit us with your movie.
All right. No, I'm ready to rock. So this was, I think it was the directorial debut of this guy. He only made 3 films. I've seen the 3 films, did a lot of TV. The 2 female leads in the film, one of them was one of the historical characters in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The other was the first person that Freddy Krueger ever killed. And this was an auto.
Helen, what's her name? Lagerkamp or whatever her name was.
She's totally forgettable name. Like I don't remember the name of either of the actresses.
Oh
This
no, I'm
was
thinking of the main actress. I'm thinking of the one who survives.
Oh, she survived. Oh, you're thinking of the one that survived.
Helen Lagerkamp
Yeah.
survived. Yeah.
Yeah, the lead of this was his 4th movie, I think, but this was his 2nd lead in a film after a movie that was called Sure Thing.
This is John Cusack.
This is Cusack,
Okay.
and yeah, he was in 16 Candles, just like he basically was like the Nick Cage, like a Nick Cage in you know,
Don't say Nick Cage.
Fast Times. No, I'm saying Nick Cage in Fast Times had that cameo, right? He had that
Yeah,
little
he was just like
cameo
there. Yeah.
in 16 Candles. But this was an autobiographical that has everything. It's maybe one of the most quotable movies from 1985. It's a 7.1 on IMDb. It did not do well, and Cusack hated the movie, and has since kind of came around on it. And
Better Off Dead?
Better Off Dead, yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
then he was, but it's crazy because he was in Better Off Dead and he hated the movie, but then he did the fucking next movie with him for One Crazy Summer where Demi Moore sings,
With
and he
Demi
also
Moore,
made
yeah.
How to Get Into College, which has a great role by like Phil Hartman and the guy that plays the Jewish character.
Kevin did One Crazy Night for one of his
One
films.
Crazy
Time
Summer.
Forgot.
Mhm.
One Crazy
Oh my
Summer.
god, that I
Yeah.
love that. When Bobcat
Mhm.
Goldthwait
Bobcat
talks about,
Goldthwait,
he's
mhm.
like, what the little boy, and he was fat, and people made fun of his voice because he was different.
We,
strange. It's like, were
we
you that
talked-
young
we
boy? And he's
talked
like,
about-
no, but I used to pick on him and be like, why are you so fat? Why are you so fat?
We talked about Sure Thing a little bit too last week because we did an episode on Rob Reiner, Rob Reiner's career a couple weeks ago. So we talked about Sure Thing because that was the first film that Rob Reiner directed.
So Henry Winkler produced Sure Thing, And that's actually how Cusack ended up in the movie, because he saw a short film called My 11th Birthday or something that Steve Savage, I forget the name of the director that did Better Off Dead, but he did all that animation at the start of both movies. Kind of had that animation.
That was another 80s thing.
Savage, his first name is Savage Steve Holland, and he didn't really do much after that, but he was suicidal because his girlfriend broke up with him for the head of the ski team, and that's literally. And he went to go hang himself in the garage, and he got the electrical cord, and it's just like in the movie where he's like, "This is crazy," and the bucket broke, and it broke a pipe, and his mother comes in and yells at him, and getting TV dinners for Christmas, and all that's like totally exactly what happened to him. But man, I love the movie. It's so nostalgic for me. And I remember I went to college and somebody was watching the movie, and I can quote the movie like pretty crazy. There was a kid sitting there, like he was some neurodivergent, just could literally the whole movie through word for word do the whole movie, every single line, the whole fucking movie.
$2.
Yeah, that kid. That kid actually broke when he went through the car wash. He hit the windshield so hard that he broke the windshield. So there's some of your fun facts for that. But yeah, his mom used to make like dinners where she would just forget an ingredient from McCall's or whatever magazine she read or whatever, and it was just. But it's like that movie. I mean, you got Van Halen with claymation.
Yeah.
I mean, just the concept of it, the kid, the fat kid, we blow up Ricky's mom. I mean, it's so that you got the Asians that like learned how to speak English from Howard Cosell, which was dubbed by Richard Little, by the way. I mean, it's so fucking good, and it's good all the way through. And you got Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, also from Risky Business, right? And he's like, he snorts snow. And he's like, I can't feel the left side of my body. Do you realize this mountain?
I think South Park did an entire parody of this with
it was more of a ski patrol, I would say, because in the 80s there was a lot of ski movies where like the corporation
chainsaw in summer school was in Ski Patrol.
Yes. Oh my God, Chainsaw, another just gem with Mark Harmon.
Yeah.
So many amazing things about that movie. But
I would say like
the
90
gonna take over the mountain.
Easily 90% of our films that time forgot are 80s films.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, I don't know if it's like people forgot about that movie, but if you haven't seen it, like just go enjoy the shit out of it because it's good the whole way. The brother has zero dialogue.
The 80s were a special time for movies because it was like random tits and all the cocaine. It's like 80s films, man.
Yeah. And there's so many movies they put out that, in the 80s that, which, it was in the theater for like a minute. Then it went straight to HBO. And it ran on HBO all the fucking time.
And then it was a video store like Blockbuster,
Yes.
That was like Shawshank. Right. Shawshank Redemption did no box office.
Oh, yeah. That was the first film that TBS ever bought, and that's how it got popular because it was on TBS 24 hours a day.
Played it over and over again.
Yeah.
My favorite film of all time, by the way. So I'm not going to knock.
I love that movie. I'd like to say that Andy wasn't raped by the sisters. I'd like to say that.
Prison ain't no fairy tale. Yeah. Kevin's top 3 prison films are Shawshank, Escape from Alcatraz, and Ernest Goes to Jail.
That's right.
Top 3 prison rape films.
Yeah, prison rape. Ernest gets raped.
What I really like to see is Morgan Freeman, and Ernest, and
not like happens.
Why can't I think of his name now? Clint Eastwood. All in a prison cell
together. Kind of hard since Jim Varney's dead.
Well, he's the one that doesn't make it out.
Yeah. So, how about Kev? How about you go next then?
Oh, this is going to be tough to stump you guys because
Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
But
I love that one. That's my favorite.
Real quick, our job is to try to stump Leo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So far, I haven't had a chance to get stumped because Bobby's beat me on 2 out of them so far. So
Okay, so this is a this movie's littered with celebrity, so you'll get it eventually, but I'm gonna have to start with the year was 84. Director was Amy Heckerling, written by Norman Steinberg, Bernie Kukoff.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No,
Oh, wow.
not Fast
Oh.
Times.
Look who's talking.
No, not Look Who's Talking.
I'm going Clueless.
I'm going to start with the most popular obscure actor in the movie, which is Alan Hale Jr., best known as the Skipper from Gilligan's Island.
Back to the beach.
Wow. Back to the beach.
I'm telling you, because the deeper I go into this, you guys are going to start to piece it together. We got Ray Walston from My Favorite Martian.
Well, he was also in Ridgemont High. That's why I guessed that.
Dick Butkus.
Dick Butkus. Jesus.
Ron Carey.
Okay.
Okay. And now we're going to have to start getting into people you know. Maureen Stapleton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
From All in the Family.
All right. Here we go. Dom DeLuise.
Johnny Dangerous.
Cannonball Run.
Johnny Dangerous.
Johnny Dangerous.
Oh my God. Joe Piscopo is the best.
Joe Piscopo. Mary Lou
My
Hanner,
mother
Peter
put
Bull.
me on a hook once.
You far
This is her follow-up to Fast Times. This is her follow-up to Fast Times, and it was a fucking bomb.
It was.
It was one of the biggest bombs.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, I actually like the
It's
film.
such a good movie.
It is funny. It's a funny film.
I
It
like
holds
they're walking him to the death to the death sentence, and the preacher's going, "I'm on the bus. You missed the bus. We're on the bus. I'm the bus." Like it's just babble Latin, you know. And they drive off in the getaway car, and they keep hearing the dispatcher identifying the getaway car. So they have shelf paper. What's it called? And they keep peeling. Yeah, like the shelf paper, and they're just peeling it off of the car, so it keeps changing.
Oh yeah.
You know. And at one point, it's like rubber duckies because his girlfriend really wanted kids at some point, so the car's now dressed in like rubber duckies and stuff. Yeah, I mean it's goofy, but
did Heckerling do Can't Hardly Wait from like 2004 or whatever?
Heckerling? She did.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought. I know she was involved in Clueless, but
She did Clueless. She did. So she started with Fast Times.
she did Clue, not Clue.
She started with Fast Times. She did Johnny Dangerously. Then after that, she did Look Who's Talking. She did Look Who's Talking 2. She did Clueless.
Look Who's Talking Now.
That wasn't Heckerling. She had like a writer credit on it because she created the Look Who's Talking film. But
yeah, the dog one is when it just got
the dog one. Yeah, that was not her.
And Danny DeVito.
She did the first
just was all
two.
fart jokes.
She did the first one. It was a big hit, and then like the studio forced her to do the second one.
When I like whenever I'm like, you know, about to get frisky with my wife, I start doing the Jackson Brown. You know, she's gonna be somebody's baby tonight. It's me,
So she did she did a movie called Loser with the two of the actors from American Pie.
Oh yeah,
Sean William Scott or whatever.
No,
yeah, this was
at Bigelow.
Yeah,
Mia
Biggs.
Savari and Jason Biggs. Yeah, she did European Vacation. Which
I love European Vacation.
I find that to be the least of the
the opening films. Dream sequence when like Rusty's like something like it hot when you know, and Audrey's like eating everything. Like I don't know. I love the opening of European Vacation where everybody's dreaming.
I find it like
plane.
Of the 4 vacation films, to me, it's like number 3.
Wait a minute. The beginning of your of European Vacation wasn't that the like
the game show?
The game show where know freaking
where the guy that was like a supposed to be like Richard Dawson like makes out with the daughter.
Yep, exactly.
So, okay, let's go to my film then. So you guys all picked 80s films. I did not. My film is from 1978.
You're not.
No,
old.
I actually changed it. I had a different film that I had in mind for this tonight, and then after I watched your documentary, I changed to this film because
The
this film
Longest
has
Yard.
this film has something to do with unions. So
Oh,
more
what?
like
With what
it was more like a
unions?
union thing.
Unions.
Unions, yeah. So this movie came out in 1978. Let me go, man. While I'm still awake.
Because I'm wasted. Go ahead.
You're wasted. I'm wasted. I just drank a Mike's hard cherry thing for some fucking reason.
Dude, I'm 8 Shires.
Let's be professional for our guest. 1978. This movie's rated R. It's directed by Paul Schrader, who is probably best known for directing American Gigolo and Hardcore. But he's better known as a writer. He was actually the writer on Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. The movie stars Richard Pryor, Harvey Keitel, and Yaphet Kotto. And I should say that this is a dramatic film. It's a very rare dramatic role for Richard Pryor.
See no evil.
No, I love that movie though. That's a good 1990s film.
Superman 3.
Yeah, no,
Oh my
I would
God.
never put that on any list. So the synopsis of this film is 3 automotive factory workers struggling financially decide to steal money from their labor union. They discover that the union is working with the mob and reluctantly decide to use this information for blackmail.
No idea.
No, let me tell you something.
Not gung ho.
No, that
It
was
was like it's
that's
close to
Michael Cera.
Dragnet, but Dragnet was like 88.
So 3 workers, Zeke, played by Richard Pryor, Jerry, played by Harvey Keitel, and Smokey, played by Yaphet Kotto, are working at a car plant. One night, they decide to steal the money from their union. They think it's a flop at first because they only steal $600, but then they realize that they also found some material that proves that the union is working with the mob. They decide to blackmail the union, except that Richard Pryor's character, Zeke, gets bought out by the union when they give him a raise at work and give him a title as like a manager at the company and stuff, and he ends up becoming a like supporter of the union and all that. It's a really good movie about corruption in unions. So like I pivoted from the movie I originally did because your documentary talked about like unionization and it made me think of this, even though it's a completely different like the
What
motor
were you gonna
industry.
do?
So I was originally going to do let me get to that. Let me do this one first. So this movie is from 1978. It's called Blue Collar.
Yeah.
It's not a very popular film anymore, but it's a really, really good movie. Go ahead, Mike. What were you
I've
saying?
never even heard of it.
I knew it, but I just couldn't come up with it. I drank too much.
It's New York Times placed it on their list of 1,000 movies you need to see. Bruce Springsteen calls this one of his favorite movies of the 70s. It was actually Siskel and Ebert posted this as the number 4 on their list of the top 10 films of 1978.
Wow. Did it have any nominations?
No, and that's weird. It should have. Like, it's a really good movie. This is what truly makes it a film that time forgot, that none of you guys have heard of this film. And it came out in the year that Alien came out, and it came out the year after, like, Star Wars. So there's all these other movies that kind of, like, overshadowed it. But it's a really good, like, realistic look at, like, a union and life in an industry that's really hard, and these 3 guys that are financially struggling and the things that they go to, the lengths they go to make money. It's a really good film.
It is. I'm old enough. I had actually seen this movie.
Yeah, I watched this not too long ago, and for the first time, and then I've watched it a couple times since. And I thought, it made me think of it when I watched your documentary. It's a wine film for me. It's one that kind of like ages well, even though it's from 1978. It kind of like, because even though it's like a niche industry, corruption is universal. And it really
it helps
that well.
That you and Kev both are union guys. So
I'm not a union guy anymore. I was a union guy when I taught high school. So.
You used to be.
I was union representative when I taught high school.
Guys, I gotta get rolling because
Okay.
I got somebody popping in for now. So
Sounds good. But
I don't want to be the
No, that's fine.
the
That's fine.
thing, but,
You're good.
We
but I
Just to
Thank you
let
for the
you
whiskey.
know,
We really appreciate them.
Yeah,
We
the
do
movie
much
I was going to
pleasure.
do tonight, just so you know, the movie I was going to do tonight was American Werewolf in London.
oh, dude, Landis.
I'm going
I
to
love
say
that movie.
Well, I mean, you can get into the whole history of Landis and Twilight
Mhm.
Zone, and
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy that. Do you know, like, just the people that died on Twilight Zone and the backstory of that and
Yeah.
the saga of that. Oh my
The connection to the Michael Jackson Thriller. You know,
Yeah.
through.
Oh yeah,
American Werewolf,
I mean,
yeah.
he did Caddyshack. I mean, he did all the. Do you ever listen to the podcast? What went wrong?
Mm-mm.
No.
Listen to the Twilight Zone. So they basically talk about how films got made, and not just horrible ones and bad ones and good ones, whatever. It's like, it'll have Titanic, and it'll do 2 episodes on Tombstone, which is phenomenal. But yeah, the Twilight Zone one, and just Landis is definitely one of the bastards. I mean, he showed up at like the funeral, and like, I mean, he skirted all these like safety issues for that film, and it's just great. But yeah, one of the greatest, filmmakers of Trading Places, right? I mean, come on, Landis is one of the best of the 80s, like big time. Didn't he do Coming to America too?
That I'm not sure. We'll find out next week, because next week we're doing an Eddie Murphy episode.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much
appreciate you
for
coming on. Thank you for the
lineup.
kits.
Yeah, thank you for everything. Bobby.
Yeah, we had a really
Great.
good time trying out the
pleasure.
whiskeys. The film was phenomenal. The Business of Amateurs. Everybody
you so
should check
much.
it out. Thank you for coming on. And Bobby, anytime you want to come on again, man, you're welcome to come on. We had a good time.
Mhm.
No, maybe in 6 months we'll do another time. Films that
Sounds
time
good.
forgot.
Sounds
All
good.
right, man. Let me know.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
All right,
Bob.
thank you, man, for coming on. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye.
So, folks, that was Bobby DeMars. He is the founder and CEO of Blind Barrel's Whiskey Tasting Experience. We had a lot of fun tasting his whiskeys tonight. I know I did, because I'm fucking hammered.
Dude, I can't see straight.
I
Dude.
can't see straight right now.
I don't get hammered on the show.
I just X'd out of my notes, and we're not even done the show yet.
I am so fucked up.
Ah, man. So I'm glad I have no students tomorrow. It'll be an easy day, hopefully. Anyway, that was Bobby DeMars. We appreciate him coming on. If you haven't seen his documentary, The Business of Amateurs, you should check it out. It's a really, really good documentary.
Really good.
You can get it on Tubi right now with some of the other like free streaming services.
Yep.
And he owns the Blind Barrel's Whiskey Tasting Experience. You can get a whiskey tasting experience for yourself by going to his website at blindbarrels.com. We have a cinema quote of the week tonight. Anybody up for reading a cinema quote?
I will read it.
Go ahead, sir.
Talk low, talk slow, and don't say much. John Wayne.
We are
Quoting Teddy Roosevelt.
I was going to say we're the complete opposite of that on this show.
Exactly. Yeah,
Revisiting our drinks.
Dude, I am actually considering subscribing to the blind tastings, because god damn, that was so good.
If I already didn't promise to go in tomorrow on a work day for the teachers, I probably would work from home tomorrow, because I am fucking hammered.
Tell me about it.
I will say the second tasting for me, the Riegers, was my favorite.
The third was my favorite.
Yeah, I like them all. The rye one was a little harsh.
I would have drank any one of them any time of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really like
Very
that
good.
second one. I would like to try to find that one if I can. Anyway, whew, thank you for joining us tonight for episode 224, Films That Time Forgot, part 13, plus our interview with our special guest, Bobby DeMars. Make sure you order some Blind Barrels and check out the Business Amateurs. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Remember, you can email us at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all our social media podcast links. You can watch us on the Pod Nation Media Network on Roku or YouTube or Rumble. I'm trying to say this. Support us by going to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation or text us at 904-867-4466. Don't forget to stop by the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented. Next time around for episode 225, we're going to look at the filmography and career of one Eddie Murphy. This should be a really fun, interesting episode next week.
Question. Question:
Yes.
Are we going to do Delirious and Raw as well?
I think they count as part of his filmography because they were
Okay.
released in theaters. So we'll talk about
Okay.
those as well. I have some rewatching to do because you guys are going to hate my top 5 list for Eddie Murphy, especially my number 1.
Hey, better be fucking goddamn Beverly Hills Cop. Okay.
So don't forget to join us next week for that. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
It's time for bed. This is Building the Films and Fermentation podcast. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
My God.